Welcome back to AM Northwest. You know, there is nothing more satisfying or delicious than eating produce that you have grown yourself. Here to share how to get a head start on planting peas, we welcome the author of Grow, Cook, Eat, A Food Lover's Guide to Vegetable Gardening, Willi Galloway. Good to have you with us, Willi.
Hi, yeah, thank you.
First of all, tell me about your love of gardening. Where does it come from?
Well, you know, I grew up gardening with my mom in our backyard, and I just always liked it. After college, I got a job at a magazine called Organic Gardening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I worked with them. I got to talk to gardeners all over the country, and I worked in their test garden growing new crops, and that's how I got started.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, so talk to me about right now what we can do, and it's peas that we can grow.
Yeah, I know there were snowflakes on my car this morning, so it doesn't seem like a great time to garden, but you can, in the next few weeks, plant peas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they like cold weather, but they can germinate pretty slowly in the soil when it's still so cold and wet. So I wanted to share a little tip about getting them started inside so that you have a better chance of them sprouting once you get them outside.
Okay. How do you do that?
Okay, well, it's called pre-sprouting. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of paper towel. You want to double it up.
Okay.
Get it wet. I've got some here. And then I've got some little
peas. You want
it
soaking wet? Like you have, it's soaking wet.
Yeah, it's pretty wet. And then I've got some peas here. These are called Little Crunch. They're for containers. So even if you just have a balcony, you could grow these peas.
Okay.
But I also like another one called Sugar Magnolia that has purple pods with green seeds. So you just take some seeds out, you put them on the wet paper towel, you spread them.
What are we looking at here?
Oh, that's the Sugar Magnolia pea. So see how it's got purple pods and it has like bright green peas, and it's a sugar snap pea, so you can eat the pod and the peas.
Oh.
They're gorgeous. They're like 100% worth growing, and the flowers are pink, so they're just, it's like a really ornamental edible.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So we've got the peas. We're going to just put them onto the wet paper towel, fold it over, kind of make a little package, fold it up, and then...
How cute is this?
Yes, right, little package. And then what you do is you slide it into a Ziploc that you've labeled with the date and what it is so you remember, because if you're like me, you might not remember.
That would be me.
So you stick it in there. You just zip it 3/4 of the way shut and then leave it on your counter in your kitchen and check on it once a day. You might need to spritz the paper towel so it stays
Oh, so
damp.
you're just checking to see how moist it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
that's what you're doing. Okay.
what's going to happen is the peas are going to sprout. So here are some that I started last Saturday. So
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, right? So right when the little curly Q of a root comes out, that's when you want to plant them.
Wait, here, let's do this. Okay, so can you see the little curly Q?
Yeah, so there's just like a little teeny root, and you're going to go outside, dig a trench that's about a inch deep, and then just put the peas in an inch apart and cover them up, and then they'll sprout.
So despite the fact that the ground is really hard at this point, right?
Yeah.
It's going to work?
It should work, yeah. This is what really this is doing is it speeds up the germination process.
Okay.
So if you have them out there in the really cold soil, the peas are going to take a long time to germinate.
Yeah.
So what you've done is germinated them inside. Now the root's growing, and they're going to take off in your garden. And you'll usually get peas 2 to 3 weeks faster than if you just planted the seeds outside.
Oh, okay. And then how do you maintain them?
Just at this time of year, there's not a lot to do. Like it's wet still,
it's wet.
so yeah, you just let them grow.
Okay.
It's pretty easy.
You're a great example of if you teach kids to grow their own food, they will eat it.
Oh.
You know, a great example of that. And you have kids of your own,
I
right?
do. I have a son, Grady, and I've definitely noticed that he is much more willing to eat stuff if he's had a hand in growing it himself.
Yeah. Now you cover a lot of vegetables. Tell me about some of the others.
Yeah, so there's 50 guides to growing vegetables, herbs, and small fruit in my book, and all the big ones, you know, tomatoes, squash are in there. The focus is really on flavor.
Oh.
Yeah, so all the growing tips, the harvesting tips, the storage tips are focused on making sure you get the best flavor.
Yeah.
And then I really recommend...
I don't know, how would you regulate flavor in some, like, let's say a tomato?
Yeah, so inconsistent water can give kind of a mealy texture to the tomatoes. With cucumbers, if you don't water them enough, they can get bitter. So having the right nutrients, all that kind of stuff, and then also choosing the right variety.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. You also have recipes in here as well,
Yeah,
right?
so I talk a lot about different edible parts of the plant and different stages of harvest. So I really wanted to make sure that if I was telling someone to grow something and use a specific part of the plant, like a radish green or you can use pea greens in salads, that there was a recipe with that so that people could feel comfortable starting to experiment with plants that they might not have tried before.
I love it. You have a book event, and it is tomorrow at Powell's on West Burnside. We're going to put all the information for everyone. It is at 3 o'clock. We're going to put that on our website at katu.com. Willi, thank you so much.
Yes, thank
you.
you.
The book again is Grow, Cook, and Eat. All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away. That's so